Hi everyone, Michael Balesta here. Before recapping the Browns and Raiders this past Sunday, let's look back on what happened on the final week of the regular season for the Cleveland Indians. Tuesday, the Indians tried to keep momentum going from the previous day, but Avisail Garcia had other ideas as he drilled his 19th home run to left field and a 2-0 White Sox lead in the bottom of the first inning. Jose Ramirez answered with a single to right in the third to trim the deficit in half. The lead changed hands that same inning when Yonder Alonso singled to center to score Ramirez and Edwin Encarnacion against James Shields. In the top of the fourth, Yan Gomes hit his fifth long ball, and his solo blast made it 4-2 Cleveland. Carlos Carrasco could not close the show against Chicago. Yolmer Sanchez's base hit to center drove home Yoan Moncada. Two batters later, Daniel Palka sent the fans home with his single to score Adam Engel along with Sanchez. Trevor Bauer was the Indians' starter, but went just 4 innings. Carrasco, with the defeat, went to 16-10. Ian Hamilton got credit for the win, who went to 1-2. As for Shields, he lasted 6 innings. There was a delay of 51 minutes, and the White Sox won 5-4. The Indians took out their frustrations out on Wednesday. Francisco Lindor hit his 37th home run off of Jace Fry in the first inning. 2 innings later, Encarnacion singled to right field against Aaron Bummer, and Ramirez touched home plate for a 2-0 lead. Cleveland broke the game open in the fourth when Encarnacion hit his 32nd deep ball towards left center field for a 3-run homer versus pitcher Ryan Burr. Roberto Perez added an RBI single in the fifth against Jeanmar Gomez. Michael Brantley's sacrifice fly later on was deep enough to get Jason Kipnis across the plate. 2 more runs would be added in the top of the sixth. Kipnis and Perez each recorded RBI doubles to help make it 10-0. Chicago avoided being shut out with hits from Kevin Smith and Adam Engel to make the eventual final score 10-2. Shane Bieber was able to pitch with the lead by the time he got to the mound. He struck out 9 batters in 6 innings of work, yielding only 2 hits and 2 walks, improving to 11-5. Fry was only able to pitch 1 inning and dropped to 2-3. Thursday was the start of the final regular season series for 2018 as Cleveland played the Royals in Kansas City for 4 games. Like Wednesday, the Indians took the initiative thanks to a sacrifice fly from Jose Ramirez in the first. The lead lasted until the bottom of the third. That's when Adalberto Mondesi drove in his 13th home run to tie the game at 1. The Royals put together a 2-out rally in the 10th inning as Mondesi drew a walk, then stole second. Adalberto took third as Alex Gordon reached base on ball 4. That set up Salvador Perez for a single to left field, and Kansas City got a 2-1 win. Glenn Sparkman got the start, going 5 innings, but it was Jason Hamill picking up win number 4, while Neil Ramirez went to 0-3. Like Tuesday, the Indians were able to rout the opposition following a walk-off loss on Friday. Kipnis got his 18th homer of the year off of Ian Kennedy to give Cleveland a 1-0 lead in the third inning. The top of the 7th was one to remember for the American League Central champions. Josh Donaldson doubled to start the frame. Alonso brought him home via a single. After Melky Cabrera reached on a base hit, Kipnis bunted his way on base, and Adam Rosales and Brandon Barnes, who pinch ran for Alonso and Cabrera respectively, were both in scoring position. Roberto Perez got an RBI single to make the score 3-0. Lindor reached base on a force play and a mistake by Ryan O'Hearn, allowing Barnes and Greg Allen, who pinch ran for Kipnis, to come home. Later on, Encarnacion went to left field for an RBI single to make it 6-0. Donaldson went deep to left center field for a grand slam. The final run of the long inning happened as Greg Allen doubled to right field to plate home Rosales. After the Royals got a run thanks to Hunter Dozier's double in the home half of the 7th inning, Cleveland added more hits from Perez and Lindor to reach 14 runs in the 9th. Salvador Perez singled in a run, then Brian Goodwin finished the scoring with a grand slam. Mike Clevenger went to 13-8 after pitching 6 2/3 innings, while Kennedy was 3-9 following a 14-6 Indians victory. Saturday, Cleveland got the lead in the first courtesy of Brantley's sacrifice fly. Mibris Valoria answered with a base hit in the second inning to tie the game. Alonso and Cabrera each hit a single to right field in the next inning. The Royals did not lay down. In the fourth, Whit Merrifield hit a 2-run double to tie the game. Mondesi got his 14th home run in the bottom of the sixth to give Kansas City a 6-3 lead. Ryan O'Hearn drove in another run later in the inning. In the seventh, the Royals kept at it with Alcides Escobar and Alex Gordon base hits to make the score 9-3. Ramirez was able to get home run number 39 in the top of the eighth, but it was not enough for Cleveland in a 9-4 defeat. Corey Kluber did strike out 6, but gave up 7 hits in 5 innings. Andrew Miller was tagged with the loss to go to 2-4. Jacob Junis had 6 strikeouts in 6 innings to go to 9-12. Sunday, the Indians finished the regular season on a high note. Francisco Lindor stole third base for his 25th theft of the year, then scored because of an error by third baseman Alcides Escobar. Cleveland added to their 1-0 first inning advantage. Lindor got home run number 38 by going towards left center field, and that proved to be enough offense for the visiting team. Beloria did get Kansas City's lone run on a single to center in the fifth, but Carlos Carrasco and Trevor Bauer both played their part in a 2-1 victory. According to the MLB At-Bat app, it was a 2-hour, 44-minute game. Carrasco finished the regular season 17-10. Eric Skoglund finished 1-6 for 2018. The Indians and Astros will meet in the American League Division Series for a best-of-5 starting in Houston on Friday at 2:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Game 2 is Saturday at 4:37 before Cleveland hosts Game 3 on Monday. If the series goes all 5 games, Game 4 is Tuesday, and the decisive game is back in Houston a week from this Thursday. So Games 3, 4, and 5, no times are set as of yet, and we await to see how that series plays out. I'm really curious to see if Corey Kluber can step it up in the playoffs. I think he needs to be on his game if the Indians are to get by the Houston Astros, who were last year's champions. Both teams have good pitching and hitting, so it's really hard to think that a 3-game sweep will happen. My prediction is the Indians win in 5 games. Both teams will get at least 1 road victory, but I think Cleveland will get 2 at Minute Maid Park in Houston. As far as the other postseason matchups go, the Colorado Rockies play in Chicago against the Cubs tonight at 8 p.m. in the National League Wild Card game. The winner will play the Milwaukee Brewers in the National League Division Series beginning this Thursday in Wisconsin. Tomorrow in the American League Wild Card game, the New York Yankees will host the Oakland Athletics at 8 p.m. The survivor of the game plays the Boston Red Sox at Fenway Park Friday. The other division series will be the Atlanta Braves and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Game 1 is Thursday at Dodger Stadium. The Browns and Raiders slugged it out in Oakland for 4 hours and 5 minutes this past Sunday. Looking back at the play-by-play chart, courtesy of the NFL app, as well as the Browns app, the first 3 possessions were 3-and-outs, giving Cleveland the ball at their own 23. On a 2nd and 8, Baker Mayfield tried to hit Antonio Callaway, but it was tipped and intercepted by Garyon Conley, who took the ball 36 yards to get Oakland on the board. The Browns were able to settle down and get in the game on the ensuing series. They had a 15-play drive of 72 yards, chewing just over 8 minutes of time before Greg Joseph hit a 25-yard field goal. On that drive, Mayfield found Jarvis Landry for 8 yards, then overcame a Callaway offensive pass interference penalty when Duke Johnson caught a 19-yard pass on 2nd and 12 to move the sticks. 15 more yards were added on, with the Raiders called for roughing the passer. Desmond Harrison was called for holding, but 3 plays later, David Njoku hauled in a 14-yard reception to make the situation a more manageable 4th down. Mayfield was able to run out of bounds for 7 yards to keep the drive alive. After the Oklahoma quarterback was sacked by Bruce Irvin, veteran Carlos Hyde nearly got back to the original line of scrimmage, and on 3rd and 12, Rashard Higgins caught a 21-yard pass to get Cleveland to the 13-yard line. Hyde carried for a 5-yard gain, then fumbled on the next carry by Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, but Hyde did recover at the 2-yard line. After Oakland was caught for too many men on the field, the visiting team got too cute by passing twice at the 1 and having to settle for Greg Joseph's 25-yard field goal to make it 7-3. The Raiders were able to find their footing offensively as Amari Cooper, former Seahawk Marshawn Lynch, and Jared Cook helped get them into field goal range, but Matthew McCrane missed a 47-yard field goal early in the second quarter. The Browns wasted no time as Nick Chubb scampered for a 63-yard touchdown to give Cleveland the lead. Surprisingly, the Browns would begin a trend of attempting 3 two-point conversions. On the first one, Mayfield threw incomplete to Callaway, so the lead was just 9-7 at the time. Oakland had to give the ball back after not being able to pick up a first down on the ensuing series. With Cleveland starting their 5th series from their own 30-yard line, Hyde got 2 touches to set up 3rd and 4. Landry moved the chains into Raiders territory. That set up a Mayfield to Darren Fells' 49-yard touchdown reception to extend the Browns' lead. This time, Duke Johnson was able to pound the ball in for the successful 2-point conversion and a 17-7 advantage. Oakland would respond with an 8-play, 75-yard drive capped off by David Carr's 8-yard touchdown to Cooper, and with about 4.5 minutes left in the second quarter, it was 17-14. Cleveland was forced to punt after getting 1 first down. The Raiders threatened to get into scoring range, but on the 6th play of the drive, E.J. Gaines intercepted Carr at the Browns' 15-yard line inside the final half minute of the second quarter. The home team squandered a chance, and the men in orange and brown took a lead into the dressing room. The second half started well. Johnson caught an 8-yard pass on the second play of the series. Later on a 3rd and 1 from the Cleveland 44, Njoku, the second-year tight end out of Miami, went for a 14-yard reception. Later, wide receiver Rashard Higgins went for 23 yards to put the Browns in the red zone, but the offense stalled, forcing Joseph to try a field goal from 28 yards, which he made. The drive went for 11 plays and more than 5.5 minutes. Things got even better as Demarius Randall ran back an interception of Carr for 50 yards to put the visiting team in prime position to add to their lead. Rashaan Melvin was called for defensive pass interference as Baker Mayfield tried to find Jarvis Landry. The 24-yard penalty gave the Browns a 1st and goal from the 7. After Carlos Hyde picked up 5 yards on the ground, Mayfield went back to Landry for a connection and a 2-yard touchdown. Once again, Cleveland eschewed an extra point attempt, and Duke Johnson ran to the end zone for 2 more points. Oakland once again were forced to punt the ball back after picking up 1 first down by Lynch. Jabril Peppers took the fair catch at his own 11, and the Browns were playing with a long field. Maurice Hurst was able to get to Mayfield and get a strict sack, allowing Jonathan Hankins to recover for the Raiders. The game began to change at this point, and the team in silver and black capitalized on the mistake, capped off by a Jared Cook 7-yard touchdown catch. McCrane's point after made the score 28-21 with still more than 20 minutes left in regulation. On the next 3 possessions, neither defense gave up a first down. Oakland got the ball back late in the third quarter. Marshawn Lynch ripped off a 52-yard gain, and the Raiders were inside the red zone. Randall made a tackle on Dwayne Harris on 3rd and 3 to get the Cleveland defense off the field. McCrane would hit from 29 yards out, and the lead for Cleveland was 4 early in the fourth quarter. Hankins recovered a Mayfield fumble at the Browns' 20 to give the Raiders another short field. It did not take long for Oakland to get back in the lead as former Packer Jordy Nelson caught a 19-yard touchdown pass from David Carr. 3 consecutive incompletions forced the Browns' offense to leave the field. Harris got a big 49-yard punt return to the Cleveland 29, and all the momentum was clearly on the side of the team from the east side of the Bay Area. Fortunately, Myles Garrett was up to the task of stopping Lynch to force the hosts to kick a field goal, which was good from 44. Despite conceding 20 unanswered points, the Browns did get the ball back, as replay said that Antonio Callaway was ruled down by contact on the kickoff instead of a fumble. Hyde went for 5 yards. Then 2 plays later, Higgins moved the sticks for 11 yards. Callaway was able to break off a 59-yard catch and run to set up a goal-to-go situation at the 1. Hyde got back-to-back carries, with the latter putting Cleveland back ahead 35-34. The Browns defense stepped up and got off the field as Garrett and Jannard Avery were able to sack Carr on 3rd and 9, and Cleveland were less than 6 minutes away from their second win. Dwayne Harris got penalized while Jabril Peppers was trying to signal for a fair catch following a Johnny Townsend punt. It gave the visitors the ball at their own 37. Hyde was wearing down the defense with runs of 16 and 6 yards. Then it was Nick Chubb rushing his way for his second touchdown for 41 yards. This time, Joseph came out to convert the extra point, and the margin between the teams was 8 points. Martavius Bryant got behind the defense for a 28-yard catch on the second play of Oakland's 15th drive. Following the big play, Amari Cooper hauled in passes of 5, 31, and 5 yards to put the Raiders at the Browns' 11. After T.J. Carey tackled Bryant for a 3-yard loss, Carr threw 3 straight incompletions, and Cleveland got the ball on downs from their own 9 with under 2 minutes left. Carlos Hyde carried the ball twice, forcing Oakland to burn 2 of their 3 timeouts remaining. There was a bit of controversy on a 3rd and 2 with 1:41 left. Hyde appeared to wiggle his way towards picking up a first down at the 19, which was the original call on the field, but review deemed that the former 49ers running back was down short of the line to gain, forcing 4th and 1. Had it been a first down, the Raiders could only stop the clock one time. Doing the math, even if Oakland waited until Cleveland ran a first down play for a simple handoff, the clock would have stopped with less than a minute left, and the Browns could go into victory formation for 2 kneel downs on 2nd and 3rd down to go to 2-1-1. But that's not what happened. The Raiders got the ball back with great field position at their own 47-yard line and still 1:28 left after the punt. Nelson and Jalen Richard each caught passes. Then Brian Body Calhoun got called for defensive holding to put the ball on the 39 on the plus side of the field. Carr found Cook for 19 yards to give Oakland a fresh set of downs after the former Fresno State quarterback spiked the ball and then a false start. It was 2nd and 15 from the Browns' 25. Carr found Richard for 18 yards. On the ensuing play, Cook caught a touchdown with 30 seconds left in the 4th quarter. Carr was able to spot Nelson in the end zone on the 2-point try, and the game was even at 42. Still, Cleveland had 3 timeouts and just needed to position themselves into field goal range to give Greg Joseph the chance to win the game. Mayfield found Njoku for 11, then Johnson for 15 to get the ball in Oakland territory, needing 1 or 2 more first downs with just 14 seconds left. Unfortunately, on the next play, Reggie Nelson picked off the rookie at the 14-yard line, and Carr would sit on the ball since there was only 7 seconds and the game would require overtime. Oakland won the coin toss and chose to take the ball, but despite Cooper helping them with a 36-yard reception, McCrane missed his field goal try from 50 yards out. After Mayfield was unable to complete a pass to Hyde, but get David Njoku to pick up 5, Rashawn Melvin broke up a deep pass intended for Duke Johnson on 3rd down. So Cleveland went 3 and out on their lone possession of the extra frame. Britton Colquitt forced Dwayne Harris to catch the punt from his own 7, but got 12 back on the return. After Lynch got 7 yards on 2nd and 10, Jared Cook gained 24 yards via the air, and Oakland was already at midfield, knowing that a field goal would win since both teams had already possessed the ball in overtime. Seth Roberts caught a 9-yard pass on 2nd down. Then Carr moved the chains on 3rd and short on a quarterback sneak. Cooper put the Raiders in scoring territory with a 14-yard completion. Lynch got the ball closer with an 11-yard run. 3 plays later, Matthew McCrane made a game-winning 29-yard field goal to make the final score 45-42. Cleveland dropped to 1-2-1, while Oakland improved to 1-3. The Browns are still learning how to win on a consistent basis, but the offense looked good Sunday. They gave up a lot of big plays in the secondary. Cleveland receivers did have good moments, but Callaway and Njoku both dropped passes. Mayfield did not have to face a pass rusher like Khalil Mack, but he was under pressure quite frequently. Baker has to take better care of the ball. So these are all signs that there are growing pains that must happen in order for the Browns to climb the next step on the ladder. I thought Carlos Hyde had a game-clinching first down, and Cleveland really ought to be enjoying themselves with 2 straight wins, but they must recalibrate quickly for Sunday's fixture against the Ravens. The Browns cannot allow themselves to be disheartened after playing well for large stretches of the first 4 games in September. Baltimore is not going to feel sorry for Cleveland, so a big divisional game at First Energy Stadium is coming up. This past week in the AFC North, the Cincinnati Bengals went to Atlanta and won 37-36, while the Baltimore Ravens went into Pittsburgh and beat the Steelers 26-14. In Week 5, the 1-2-1 Browns will host the 3-1 Ravens. The 3-1 Bengals host the 3-1 Miami Dolphins, and the 1-2-1 Steelers are at home against the 1-3 Atlanta Falcons. All of those games start at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. The North Texas Browns backers will meet at Fox and Hound in Dallas this Sunday. Kickoff is at noon Central Time. Fox and Hound is located on Midway and the Bush Tollway, so please be sure to bring your family and friends. Your support is greatly appreciated. Also, please check out the Facebook group North Texas Browns Backers page and hit the like button for the latest updates there. If you live outside of the North Texas region, please search to find a Browns Backers Club closest to you. The text of this blog is available at http://www.mjbolesta2blog.wordpress.com. So http://www.mjbolesta2blog.wordpress.com. I'm on Twitter at mjbolesta2 and on Facebook at Michael Bolesta. Archived videos on YouTube can be found by searching Michael Bolesta, Roman numeral 2. God bless. Have a great week. Be safe. And bye for now.